Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are still working in this bathroom. If you missed my last video, make sure that you go check it out because I showed you guys the bathroom before. We talked about the plans that I have and how I start a room renovation and not make it super overwhelming, although it still is kind of overwhelming. And then we did a bunch of drywall repair, which is my #1 least favorite thing to do is drywall. And in today's video, we're going to be doing my #2 least favorite thing to do, and that is removing tile. So like I mentioned in my last video, things are going to be changing, specifically this bathtub. The new bathtub is ordered. It should be on its way. And in order to take this bathtub out and put in the new one, we're going to have to remove at least part of this tile surround. I've never loved how high it came up anyway and onto the window. So I figured we'll just go ahead and take all of this out because we're gonna need to access this plumbing behind here anyway. So for now, all of this tile needs to go and all of this tile. The flooring that I think I'm gonna go with here in the bathroom can actually be laid on top of tile, but the reason that I'm not doing that is because this tile here does not go underneath the vanity, and I need it to for the new vanity. Also, I already have 2 layers of flooring in this bathroom. They layered plywood, then a linoleum, then a concrete board, then ceramic tile. So it's already taller than the floors around it. So I didn't want to add another layer of flooring on top of that. So we're just gonna take all that up, do it the hard way, I guess, and start fresh before we go in with our new flooring. So I already tried to remove one right here and it pulled a bunch of the paper off. And everything I read online said it might be easier if you remove the grout first. So I took this oscillating tool and just put it in the grout lines. I'm gonna see if that makes the tile come off any easier. Okay, that method seems to work pretty well. The drywall underneath is still in good shape, and I'll just have to get the tile adhesive off of the drywall. If it keeps going like that, I might be able to save some of this drywall. We'll see. So those first few tiles came off pretty easily with minimal damage to the drywall, but as I moved along, it got a little bit more difficult and I lost patience almost immediately when that happened and decided to just pull all of the drywall off with it, which is not a big deal because drywall is not expensive, so I can just pick up some more and replace it when I am ready to add the bathtub surround back. All right, so much for trying to save some of the drywall. It's not a huge deal because the new tub will come up higher anyway, so that drywall would have to be taken out anyway. So we'll just go back in with new drywall whenever the new tub gets installed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, not being super gentle, just chip the rest of this tile out. A faster way to do this definitely would have been cutting along the top of the tile, like straight through the drywall, and just pulling it out all in one piece. But I was a little nervous about what was behind this wall, and I'm glad that I didn't, because you can see that there's a pipe there, and that would have just been a disaster to hit that, but it came out pretty easily anyway. So that side came off pretty easy, the drywall with the tile. Later, I will take my oscillating tool and cut a straight line across here on this side and that side to add the drywall back. That way it'll be just easier to add a new piece of drywall than trying to like match it up to this ragged edge. But I will wait to do that because I don't know exactly the drywall that I'm going to add back, how much I'll need, because the new bathtub again will be higher, so we won't need quite as much. So I'm just gonna leave it exposed for now, but I will come back and cut it. I do want to move over here. So not only is the tub taller, it's also more narrow this way. And so I don't want this wall sticking out that far. It won't be necessary. So I want to remove these side tiles right here and take off the drywall and see, maybe open this up to see what plumbing is inside there and if we're able to move this wall back. I forgot to show you guys why I was removing the drywall and the bathtub surround to replace the bathtub. Do you see these clips? That is what is holding the bathtub in place, and it would kind of be almost impossible to get the bathtub out without removing all of this stuff and then removing those. Today is a new day and it is time for this floor tile to come up. Now, if you saw my other bathroom makeover, you know that I chipped all of the tile out by hand and it was not fun. One of my least favorite things to do. So I rented a tool that I think is going to help. So I've got this hammer drill. I've got a couple of different attachments for it. It was, I think, $80 to rent it for 4 hours. So I'm hoping I can get this done in that amount of time. I would definitely not get it done in 4 hours if I was chipping it out by hand, but that is the plan. I've never used one before, so I'm really excited. Okay, remember when I told you it was gonna get worse before it was gonna get better? It's about to get a whole lot worse. Let's make a mess. So I started off using this flat paddle attachment and that wasn't quite working out. So I switched to the smaller attachment and the tiles just started popping right up. It was so much faster than chipping everything out by hand. I would definitely recommend this tool if you were trying to remove any kind of tile. It made taking this tile out so much faster than I could possibly imagine, and it made it a lot more fun, and I didn't hate the experience. Some of the tiles would pop up in a full piece or even half a piece, and that made it a whole lot quicker. So I'm just working my way around the room, removing all of this tile, making sure that I am wearing a mask for sure because it got extremely dusty in here.
One thing that I know is going to be difficult about this renovation is we are still using this bathroom while I'm renovating it. So for the surround for the bathtub, I left up a piece where the faucet was so I could still use the bathtub. And also here for this toilet, I am just chipping away the tile around the toilet because I'm not going to remove it until I am ready to put down my new flooring, which will not be in this video. I told you guys it was about to be a huge mess, and it is about to get worse. So once I removed all of the tile, which took under an hour for this room, there was a layer of the concrete board underneath. And so I wanted to go ahead and use the hammer drill to get that out. You can see here that's the original linoleum and this is the concrete board, and this made more dust than the tile for sure, but it came off really quickly. But it left a bunch of screws, so you'll see me later after it's all out taking my drill and getting all the screws out of the subfloor.
Okay, I've got everything down to the original flooring. Now that hammer drill is definitely the way to go. It only took me a couple of hours to get everything out. So what I want to do now is examine this situation. I pulled back the linoleum and some of this wood is a little soft right here. We changed this toilet a couple of years ago, but you know, before that it was like 17 years old or something. So I'm just gonna pull back this and just examine the wood around it, because the last thing that I wanna do is install new floor on a bad subfloor. Okay, I think it's good news. So this is the actual subfloor. Then it has a layer of 1/4-inch plywood on top of that, then this linoleum flooring. And it seems to be just the 1/4-inch plywood was rotten in a few places, but I am still going to treat some of these areas just for mildew or whatever that is. And then before or after I take the toilet out, which I'm not ready to do just yet, then I will put down a 1/4-inch piece of plywood, a new one, so it matches the height of the rest of this floor, just to give it a little bit more protection.
And now that I had the tile out, I could finally remove these baseboards, because if you remember from last video, they were tucked behind the tile, but now they are all out.
Okay, the flooring is all cleared out, but before I can even think about going in with some new flooring on top of this, I have to address one thing. Let me show you. So after taking the tile off, the floor is, hear that? And that is where the subfloor is not as attached as it should be to the joists, which are running this way, like this. So I'm just gonna take some screws and go through the subfloor into the joist. Now how I'm figuring that out, or trying to figure out the joist placement, is underneath this carpet right here. This is where some of the subfloor meets. Now this has to meet together on a joist, or else the floor would not be structurally sound. That has to meet together on a joist. So that joist probably comes like this. So If my joists are 16 inches on center apart, so I go over 16 inches, which I've marked right here, and then I can just put some screws to attach this better. Okay, the floors are out, the drywall is demoed. We are officially ready to demo this bathtub, and that is perfect timing because look what came in. I am so excited. I cannot wait to install this deep soaker tub, but that is going to be in next week's video. So make sure that you guys are subscribed because next week is really going to be a good one. Hopefully, lots happening, lots of changes. I'll see you guys then. Bye.